There's this scene in Berserk 2016 where Guts is walking along, somber, dark. He notices something in the brush, and he strikes. He throws a knife right into a bunny's heart. This scene really stuck out to me, because it marked the beginning of the worst anime of all time. Berserkos! It's me, the God Hand, God of Berserk, but can't even pass a freaking Berserk quiz. But what I can do is theorize about little moon children. Well, one in particular. This one, the boy in the moonlight, the Moonlight Boy. Who is this? Who can he be? What purpose will he serve? Will he play part in Griffith's defeat? Only time will tell, as always. Until then though, let's delve into this little mute. This is up to episode 347. Look, I'm gonna come right out and say it. This is the demon baby. Is it confirmed? No, but literally come on. Too many things point to this being true. I feel like I shouldn't even go into that side of things, given how obvious it is to me, but let's do it anyway, for the non-believers. Let's start with the eclipse. Bear in mind that before this happened, Guts and Casca got a little frisky. In fact, Casca became pregnant in this exchange. Now, during the eclipse, we see perhaps the most angry Guts we've ever seen, as his old comrade, Griffith, rapes his new love right before his eyes. Or eye. Whether just to make Guts feel hatred, or because he consciously knew it would benefit him later, the result of this rape was a malformed demon baby, whom was physically birthed and existed in the interstice. And fittingly enough, the baby always disappeared once daylight sprang. The first time this happened, Skull Knight stated that it would likely reappear before them sometime in the future, like a child yearning for its parents. And he was right. In fact, it protected Guts and Casca on a few occasions later. A problem Femto had in his new form was that of corporeality. In fact, he lacked it completely. He was constrained to the astral plane. And guess who wasn't? The demon baby. So at the Tower of Retribution, Femto's astral self and the demon baby's both physical and astral self enter the Egg Apostle, who, through my interpretation of the events, acts as a womb to the two of them, fusing their forms together. And because of it, we have Femto as we see him today. Note that it is indeed still Femto, and not the old Griffith we all know. The look he has now is just for show, and to allow him to move about the physical plane freely. Okay, so with that known, whatever happened to the demon baby? Do we ever see him again? No, maybe not in the form we knew him having, but as Skull Knight said, a child does indeed yearn for its parents. The demon baby became Griffith's physical form, and perhaps a little more, which is what I'll be talking about from here on out. So if you didn't already believe that Moon Boy is Demon Boy, and I still haven't convinced you of it, then I don't know. Take this as a harebrained conspiracy video. The next time we see Griffith, he seems to be unfazed. That is until he seems to feel the demon baby whose body he basically stole. Griffith realizes he carries emotions for both Guts and Casca because of this lingering essence inside of him, that of Guts and Casca's child. Griffith is even driven to hold Casca in protection. We see Casca enjoying the exchange, as though she sees Griffith as her son, yet her brand is bleeding as though he's a demon, thus showing that, yeah, Griffith is still definitely demonic. That being said, even the demon baby caused the brand to bleed when near. This scene at first was confusing for me. Does she remember Griffith and doesn't want to let him go? Is he just that beautiful and magnificent to behold? But no, the most rational conclusion is that her little boy is Griffith's body, and she simply feels that when in his presence. Fast forward a bit to the beach. Mysteriously, this boy comes out of nowhere and seems to take an immediate liking to Casca, and her to it. Okay, for real, if this first scene of the Moonlight Boy wasn't obvious enough for people, I don't know what could be more telling. But whoa, big red flag. Like actually, if it is the demon baby, then why no brand reaction? I can talk on that a bit later. The scene continues, and at the end of the episode, Guts' brand slightly reacts to something, but he doesn't see anything. If you look closer, you can see Zod, apparently watching over them. But why? Whoa ho ho! This is when stuff starts connecting. Really. But again, I'll get into that in a bit. Soon, Guts is reminded of the demon baby, and wonders if it's still trudging along out there somewhere. Why show that panel? Unless either Miura wants us to think along those lines, and then pull a trickaroo on us? Or if he just wants us to know that the demon baby is the Moonlight Boy, without just blatantly telling us. I'll go for the latter. Long ago, we saw that the demon baby had certain ethereal powers. It could drive away spirits and such, not unlike the Moonlight Boy. Except in the case of the Moonlight Boy, his powers are even greater. Seemingly, and only seemingly, can the boy project his astral form to Guts, yet can still exist consciously in his physical form. So this projection type scenario happens again, and the child is there then as well. You can note now that the boy only appears on full moons. Keep that in mind. We see the child atop a branch of the world's spiral tree, clearly demonstrating its connection to the astral world to the reader. Okay, so that's what we've seen up to this point. Now, to start with my speculation, I have come to believe that Griffith, as he is now, has general control over his new body, the one he more or less stole from the demon baby. But on the nights of the full moon, where astral spirits are more powerful, the boy seems to reclaim his body, perhaps even pushing Femto's ego out. I lean on this side of thinking more so than others, because what we know of the Moonlight Boy is that he does not possess evil inside him. We know this because there's no brain reaction toward Guts or Casca, and like I said before, even the demon baby produced a brain reaction, and if Griffith's ego was still there, there'd be a reaction still. In fact, there'd be a crazy strong reaction most likely. But why doesn't the child produce one anymore? If he did before, why not now? Well, when Griffith tainted the embryo in the first place, he, excuse my terminology here, injected some of his evil into it. Well, when he fused with the baby, that injected evil fused back into his form. So when the pure ego of the Moonlight Boy comes into play, all of the evil of Griffith's ego is pushed away. Again, that's just what I think, since it seems to be at least somewhat correct. On the other hand, when Femto is controlling the vessel, the Moonlight Boy is not cast away. His ego remains inside, as seen when Griffith protected Casca. But why? Well, I think it's because it's the boy's body, not Griffith's. Griffith uses it, yeah, and he's super powerful, so he can typically overcome the baby's ego, but perhaps not all the time. Perhaps on nights where magic is at its peak, the boy can reclaim his own body. The boy even seems to have greater power than Griffith on those nights, or at least different power. We have yet to see Griffith ride along the branches of the world spiral tree like the Moonlight Boy has. It appears the child has a stronger connection with the astral realm, funnily enough. Again though, that's all my speculation. Whether or not Griffith lets this happen for some weird reason, or the child takes control, is unknown. Alright, so Griffith uses Zod to get around. Yeah, we've seen that a few times, for sure. So for what reason could Zod be out and about looking upon Guts and his crew? Well, perhaps he followed the Moonlight Boy once Griffith transformed into him. Either that, or he took him there. But I'd bet on the former being true, because we know the boy uses the branches to travel, or at least can, and I'm not sure why he'd switch things up. Zod must have just followed him to make sure he was okay, or to observe his interactions, since, well, it's Griffith too. Very interesting questions, but we just can't know yet. At one point, Shirka said that the child could be an envoy of the Flowerstorm King, but this is most likely just a red herring, at least from my point of view. Shirka, while smart, obviously can't know everything, and it just doesn't line up with what we're led to believe. In a recent episode, episode 341, we see Griffith standing in front of a full moon. When I saw this, my theories, as I'm sure a lot of other people's, were a little dashed. He's supposed to be the Moonlight Boy right now. What the heck? I really don't have an answer. Maybe he was about to change, maybe he already had, maybe the boy takes on another form entirely, which could be true, but there isn't enough evidence yet to make that my main theory. We never see his face in that moment, and that seems important to me as well. We've yet to come back to Falconia, but maybe once we do, we'll know what the deal is. Mira always has to keep us on our toes. Alright, Berzoingos, shoot me some of your theories on the matter and I'll be sure to ponder along with you. Thanks for watching, and have a fantastic whatever. May the God Hand bless you with a fist bump. Mysteriously, this boy comes out of nowhere and seems to take an immediately... What the fuck? Mysteriously, this boy comes out of nowhere and seems to take an immediately... What the hell? Why do I keep saying that? Mysteriously, this boy comes out of nowhere and seems to take an immediately... Fucking fuck! Mysteriously, This boy comes out of nowhere and seems to take an immediate liking. That's what the words are. Mysteriously, this boy comes out of nowhere and seems to take an immediately... Yo!